Yeah.
Another question I'll throw out is, what does it mean to follow Jesus? If following Jesus and surrendering your life to him is how we become saved, what does that look like?
Yeah. Um, I think a big part of it, well, like obviously it's going to be spending time with Jesus.
Yeah.
We talk about, um, you're not gonna be best friends with someone if you're never spending time with them. It just doesn't make any sense. So with Jesus, if we're gonna have a relationship with him, or even follow him well, we need that relationship. And to have a good relationship, we need to be spending time. Because you're going to become more like Jesus when you're spending more time with him. If we were hanging out every day, then people might start saying, "Oh no, that was a Jordy thing to do." What you just did, or you start laughing like the person laughs, or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, that's what we want with Jesus. You spend more time with Jesus, people are going to notice that you're acting, more like Jesus would act.
Hmm.
And also like reading about how he lived his life. I'd say like just sounds like Sunday school, but reading your Bible like is gonna like do amazing things for your walk with Jesus. And I'd say it's definitely like a mindset. Like if you're we're talking about if you're talking about um trying to like trying to balance like sin, like still like messing up, like we can't be perfect, and still trying to walk with Jesus. I'd say
Yeah.
it's about the mindset of like not trying to be like, how far can I go and God's still going to forgive me. um it's more, if you're asking that question, you're all the way in the wrong place. You have the wrong mindset. It's not about how much you can stray from Jesus and still can be saved or whatever it is. It's about walking with Jesus and looking every moment to honor him and honor
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. And it's like, why do we start thinking in that, like, oh, how far can I go mindset? I think it's probably because we haven't realized, or we don't really trust God that his way is better or more fulfilling even.
hmm Yeah, and also just the side of it that's like he's not expecting you to do it on your own. We're not expected like
Yeah.
um, now our sins have a consequence, obviously, but Jesus paid that. So when we choose in, like you were saying, like God sees us as he sees Jesus before him. Um, but and he's going to help us to walk in righteousness, and like he's there to strengthen us.
Yeah, it's a good word about, not doing it on our own. I think, we would say, hey, like, if you walk with Jesus, you have a relationship with him, there's, we talked, this isn't goodism, like, you've got to do this good of a job at following Jesus for it to count. What we're saying is, hey, like, you surrender, you let God into your life, and you're serious about doing that. Like, he changes you, he makes us different. You don't work to earn it, but if you really made that decision, like, it's going to show. We're a work in
hmm
progress, it's going to take time, but like, you see someone who's really made that decision and really running after Jesus, and you just see like evidence and fruit of that. Sometimes like the next day, sometimes like years later, you just change, and you really do grow, and there's a certain joy and fulfillment and peace and steadiness that God just kind of slowly, more and more over time, pushes these things into our life. And even vices we have, or what have you, like off behaviors or messed up things about us, like those even start to disappear over time, the more we walk with Jesus. And yeah, it's not like you can mess up or not be good enough at it, but there is this category of, like, I think there is a person out there who, I remember reading Matthew 7 in high school, where it talks about, at the end of everything, there'll be, this moment where people come to God and they're like, Lord, Lord, like, yeah, like, I'm with you, like, I'm saved. And he's like, oh, like, I don't know you. And he'll say, depart from me, you who didn't follow God's laws. And like, there's this sense of like, you can't just pray this prayer, say, yeah, I accept God, and just go rogue and do whatever you want with actually no intention to follow him. But boy, if you're trying and you're serious about it, there is endless grace for for every time you mess up. Like,
hmm
God's going to keep catching you and keep getting you back on that track. You're not going to fall too far, for sure.
Yeah.